Ladies and gentlemen, if there be anyone out there in YouTube land, could someone give me a sound check, please? I like to stay aware that I'm not speaking to myself. It is almost midnight. I guess most normal people would be at bed at this hour, but it's snowing. I'm sitting here watching the snow fall, about an inch in so far after an hour. Check some settings here. Must be getting old because I'm getting very impatient in my old age. See if the chat's cool. Okay, that's working. The fire felt like a good way to go tonight. I think spring's trying to work its way in, but it's always nice to get one last snowfall. Thank you. Appreciate that. So I'm sure most of you are aware of current events, and they are getting worse by the day. Promise you. Things are getting much, much worse. I'm going to give you an example of this. There's some really bad stuff going down in the Middle East right now, and there are certain indicators that tell me this. If I can pull something up here, I want to show you an example of this. There are certain systems you can use if you're willing to pay for it or you know the right people. There are systems used by government contractors, so to speak, that allow you to get real-time surveillance virtually anywhere on the globe, and it's not cheap. I'm going to show you how this all works. This is how I know how bad things have gotten in the Middle East. They're implementing a blackout. This has been in effect for a couple of days that I know of. When you have the best technology available, and all of a sudden you realize that something's not quite right with it, it's a big red flag. It's gotten to the point where everything is being delayed that's coming out. They're producing AI slop left and right to try and cover this up. It's staggering what they're doing right now, which tells me things are getting really, really bad, and they're trying to cover this up. I want to give you an example of how this works. Like most things in life, if you're willing to pay for it, you can get it. But even the best systems can be shut down at will. It's the world we live in. I'm trying to get this hub to open up. Give me just a second here. It's incredibly scary how fast they can censor anything and everything now. Israeli citizens are being threatened with arrest for posting videos on social media. In case you haven't figured this out yet, certain social media platforms are the most reliable forms of news now. The problem is they're throwing in a lot of AI BS to distract people, and it's disgusting. When you have an area that's getting absolutely obliterated and you don't want the world to know, and you're aware that your citizens can film it in real time and post it to X in a matter of minutes, that becomes a big liability. That's what's happening right now. There's a blackout, and I know it's at least a week right now. I don't know the exact number of days, and I don't know how long this is going to go on, but they've blacked out satellites. Satellites that historically have been incredibly reliable and incredibly fast. People like to talk about intel. You see a lot of people on YouTube that are constantly posting things like secret military intel, breaking intel, this and that. Most of it is BS. And I'm going to show you an example of why that is. Let me share my screen with you for a minute. This is one of the reasons why there are companies out there that work with defense contractors. Some of them are available to civilians. Some of them you have to know someone who knows someone. This is an example of what this costs. $9,600 per year. $9,650 per year if I want to make a phone call or put in an order to have a satellite photo taken. High res, low res, you name the area, they'll do it. You'll have it within about 3 hours on average, depending on where it is in the world, depending on the size of the area. This is how much intel costs on the civilian side. If you want global coverage, they have different tiers. Global, as you can clearly see, and this is just one company that does this. This has become completely unusable. This one, the same. This one is not available to civilians. As with most things, you have to know someone who knows someone. Same thing's happening with Black Sky. This is not working right now. They're throttling everything, which tells me there's a lot of stuff going down that's not going their way. I've never seen this happen before, ever, in many years. They're trying to shut down all the pipelines for real-time intelligence. And historically, this is the most accurate, up-to-date intel you can get anywhere on the planet, if you're willing to pay for it, or you know someone who knows someone. They're cutting this. This is a big red flag, and it's very dangerous. Very few things surprise me anymore. But that one kind of caught me off guard a little bit. If you want an example of where we are in the Middle East as of tonight. Something else I found out about today, and I call this a bloody puzzle piece because I'm 99.9% certain how this is going to end. There's been more bloodshed in the Middle East involving American military personnel. I would say this has gone completely off the rails, but it hasn't. They're doing exactly what they want to do. They're actually doing what needs to be done. I want you to see something. Sometimes I forget about this until something occurs. Then I have to dig back through the pipeline. In case you haven't heard this today, let me Google this just to prove what I'm saying. This came out a few hours ago. Here's one randomly. I'll just pick one. Okay, this was published today at 5:22 p.m. 1700 hours. I'm going to show you this. Stupid pop-ups. Desktop. For those of you that haven't heard this, they're sending an estimated 2,000 Marines to the Middle East. They're probably already on their way. An MEU. 2,000 Marines. And I know exactly where they're going. And this is not going to end well. I keep telling people this for a reason. Because I know how much of this is going to play out. I'm surprised it actually took this long. But it's now coming to pass. My worldwide poster board. I posted this in October of 2023. Read this very carefully, and maybe you'll understand that another piece in this road has just been laid. Feel free to go to my X account and verify this. It's there for the world to see. The 2,000 shall be led to the slaughter in a rapid manner. The eagle shall weep as the anchor that holds them shall pull the corrupt mother who has betrayed them into the final abyss from which there is no return, and their screams shall be heard across the globe. I want you to pay attention to three words: eagle, anchor, and globe. I'm sure most of you have already figured this out. There's a reason I use those three words. Does anyone know what that's a symbol of, ladies and gentlemen? Does anyone know which branch of the service uses the eagle, the anchor, and the globe? This has just come to pass. You're watching this come to fruition in real time. This is going to get very, very bloody, and more people are going to die because of this. Sometimes it's not pleasant being right. Sometimes it's not pleasant when you close your eyes and see things that you don't actually want to see anymore. I used to laugh when it would come to pass, but there are certain things I can't laugh about anymore because I know what's coming next. It's almost surreal at this point. I sit here and watch things, And it's almost like you're in a haze sometimes now because it's happening so rapidly. I'm going to give you some free advice. There are things coming upon the earth in months, not years. These things are going to happen over the next few months, not the next few years. People are losing hope. People are clinging on to things that aren't even true anymore. And I completely understand why. It's very disheartening to see what's happening upon the earth, especially when you can close your eyes and see the chessboard. And more times than not, you know where the pieces are going to go. I'm going to give you the best possible advice that I can give you at this point in the game. Prepare yourselves to see things that you cannot explain away. Prepare yourselves to see things that you've been told don't exist. And stop aligning yourselves with people who are ignorant, because it's going to hurt you in the coming months. There's a separation that's taking place right now. It will only increase. This is not going to stop. It's been put into motion. It will not stop. It will increase by the day. I'm not given to drama. I'm not given to promoting only what I can see with my own eyes. And I don't have a narrative to push other than get ready. You might want to get alone in a dark room. If you believe in God, you might want to ask Him to show you what's coming. You might want to ask Him to show you how to prepare for this. And I know how close this is getting because all I have to do is sit back and observe people. I'm trying to think of a way to phrase this. This is the best way I can put this, and this will be proven true over the coming months. If you watch how they act, religious people are becoming the canary in the coal mines. Religious people are becoming the canary in the coal mines. I hear them asking rhetorical questions now, and people rarely answer their questions. And I know exactly what's happening. There are a certain percentage of people, there's a class of people that are highly intelligent and very, very perceptive. And they're sitting back watching all this take place. These are people who want the truth, even when they don't agree with it or like it. And they're searching for the truth. It's almost like a global dropping of IQs is taking place. That's the best way I can describe this. People are wavering so fast, back and forth, back and forth. And remember, I told you this. The people that claim to believe in God are the ones that are going to lead others into deception fastest. They will be the ones given over to deception first. And if you're following these people, you will follow after them. The majority of all so-called ministers in this country are not what you think they are, and I mean the vast majority of them. They have been put in place to carry out end times prophecy. And I don't care how much you love them, I don't care how much you think you know them. The vast majority of religious institutions, especially in America, have been infiltrated. They've been planning this for years, and they have pulled it off with stunning success. If you listen to people on YouTube now, they're no better than used car salesmen. They cannot even lay down their own political agendas for a day. These people spew Bible verses nonstop, and at the end, it's always to promote their personal political views. So, to answer your question, Christians, that's why. Because at this point, you're no better than used car salesmen. You're absolutely no better. You're promoting what you see with your eyes, you're pushing your own personal narrative, and you're just as political as all the other morons out there. There's nothing different about you. There's nothing about you that stands out at this point. You people who like to quote your Bible verses cannot even lay down your own politics. How sad and pathetic is that? That's why they don't want to listen to it anymore. You people have failed miserably. They can go listen to a million other people parrot Bible verses. People are watching every move now. People who are highly intelligent are simply observing everything that's going on. And you people have become so transparent, you have no idea. That's why they don't trust you. The reason I've warned about Christians for the past 3 or 4 years is because I knew this day would come. I knew this day was coming. When I've consistently warned you to stay away from at least 90% of all Christians, this is why. I knew this was coming upon the earth. You've got Christian watchmen promoting convicted pedophiles and false prophets that have long since been exposed. It takes one act to absolutely shoot your credibility in the head. And unlike you people, they have long memories and they're not willing to simply sweep inconvenient facts under the rug. They remember. That's why you have no credibility now. That's why they don't want to listen to you read your Bible verses and push your own personal feelings and narratives. There's a verse in that ancient book that I think about quite often, and it's becoming more relevant with each passing day. Atheists and agnostics, the vast majority of them will see this coming before the religious people do. You want to know why these religious people, including the Christians, will fall for this? Because they already believe they know. The wisest words you can hear people say now are, I don't know. People who admit, I don't know. What do you think about this? I don't know. When you hear people who are humble enough to say those words, I don't know, I promise you the vast majority of them will be able to withstand delusion longer than the religious people who talk about God every day and quote Bible verses as they become more delusional. In that ancient book, there's a passage that says there's only one mediator between God and man. That is one of the most powerful verses I've ever seen in that ancient book because it's become more true with each passing year. For the most part, I don't care how you live. I absolutely don't care. You're not my friend. I'm not going to call you brother, and I'm not going to tell you that I love you because I'm not a hypocrite. But I do know there are some really good people out there, and they're looking for answers, and they're becoming confused. There's another passage in that book, and it's going to be fulfilled, I believe, in the coming months, not years. If you read in Luke 21, it talks about men's hearts failing them for fear for what has come upon the earth. And just so you know, that's what most people term a heart attack. Millions of people having heart attacks across the face of the earth because their eyes cannot comprehend what's in front of them. You need to understand there are some things you can't comprehend until you experience them, and some of those things can kill you. People cannot comprehend that type of fear unless they have experienced it. Fear that absolutely stops you in your tracks and causes you to gasp and question if your heart is even still beating. This is getting so finite, it is beyond terrifying. It is finite, down to the absolute molecule. I've always looked for what works, even if I didn't much care for it. I always wanted to know what works, what produces the most results the fastest. I've tested things years and years and years, and I haven't always liked the results, but I'm intelligent enough to know what works, even when I have to admit that I was wrong or adapt to my way of thinking. This is coming in months, not years. And I'm not a Christian prophet that will tell you very soon, very, very soon. And here we are 5, 10 years later, and it still hasn't happened. I despise those people. That's what you get from your prophets and watchmen. They give you a God that clearly cannot tell time. I've always been very careful with timelines because I never want to mislead people. I never want to sow confusion and doubt. There are things I know that will happen, but I don't know when. What I posted about the Marines was 2 years ago, and I didn't pull the number 2000 out of thin air. I didn't know the exact number, but I knew it would be close to that, and I'm honest about that. I knew it would happen, but I wasn't sure when. I actually thought that one would occur a little sooner. but now it's here. These people cannot even put down their own politics, and they want to give you advice on God and tell you how you should live. You people are nothing more than used car salesmen at this point. And I'm going to give you an example of why you need to be very careful how you conduct yourselves from this day forward. You can deny the existence of certain things, doesn't mean they don't exist. People are about to have their little boxes of reality blown wide open. There are two types of people that I'm aware of who truly do not fear their own death. And I've met a few of those people over the years. They were either deceived, believing that when they die, they simply return to dirt. They were deceived and believing you shouldn't be afraid of your own death, so they talked themselves out of it. Or they were people who walked right, who had nothing hidden in their life, who had a clear conscience. I've seen people who had nothing to lose, and they were not afraid of death, but they died just the same. This is the best advice I can give you this night. You can buy food and gas, and you can pull your money out of the bank like these great prophets and watchmen have told you 100 times, right? Might be a good idea to pull your money out of the bank. Well, after the 30th time, that kind of gets old. You can watch for another financial collapse, which they've promoted God only knows how many dozens of times. These people have worn you down. It's exhausting, and I completely get it, which is why I despise them. They've pushed their bullshit prophecies. Fiery kickoff. Remember the 5th of November, right? And that's caused a lot of people to get completely burnt out on all of this to the point where they've just given up or they've become angry. And I completely get it. I absolutely get it. That's why I'm telling you, stop looking to other mediators. Stop listening to people that cannot even lay down their political beliefs for a day. They're no better than the mainstream media. They just pretend to be. They just quote some Bible verses. That's all they can do. And they've done a great disservice to people who are actually looking for the truth. I'm going to give you an example of how this works. It only takes one incident now. There are people who will actually spend the time now to search out the truth because they're afraid and they want to know what's coming. So I'm going to give you one example of why you have to be very, very careful how you walk now, what you say and what you do on a daily basis. And it sucks. You have to be acutely aware of this, and it's constant. But it does get easier. At a certain point, it becomes a habit like most things. And it does get easier. And you will become more acutely aware of how you're living if you'll do this. I'm going to give you an example of why they don't trust you people anymore. Certain things were brought to my attention and I make a mental note of it. And I'm going to show you one of them. And I'm not saying that these people are bad or evil or being deceptive on purpose. I'm saying people are watching everything now because they want the truth. This is a perfect example of what happens in the world of religion. People who love to quote Bible verses, right? So something was brought to my attention. This is just another Christian channel on YouTube, right? Like tens of thousands of others. Don't know this dude? He may be a decent dude. I don't know. But I deal in facts. So I'm going to show you something. You can verify this for yourself. This is just an example. One of thousands I could give you. But my patience for this stuff, it only lasts so long. So you have people like this, for example, that love to read the Bible. They talk about love. Father this. They use different names for God. Okay, cool. And then something like this happens. So if you go to this channel in particular here, Set the Captives Free, 832 subs, right? Okay. This is how acute this is getting. That people are taking note of this. And it's leading them astray. It's causing them to question anyone that talks about God. So, perfect example. Posted 5 months on this channel. Read along with me. I did not make the decision of not making any more videos on this channel rashly. The Holy Spirit has been impressing me to be in intercession and evangelism more. With that, as I was talking with Brother Dave, whoever that is, at the same time, we both thought, example, I don't know if I'll keep the channel up, but if you need prayer, I'm honored to pray with you. Here's the problem with all this. People are watching things like this. I did not make the decision of not making any more videos on this channel rashly. People make statements like this. And then what do? And by the way, that was posted 5 months ago. And what do we have from 3 hours ago, from 1 day ago, from 5 days ago, from 7 days ago? More videos. You Christians want to break your word and act like it's no big deal. This is why they don't trust you. This is why they don't want to listen to your videos anymore when you're quoting the Bible. Because they've seen you people do this so many times, they're done. You people cannot even keep your word. You cannot stand by what you say. And you wonder why people don't want to watch your videos anymore. And I've got news for you. Most of you don't realize this, you great Christian watchmen on YouTube, but you now have a captive audience. And do you know who those audience members are? They're not the lost that you're always talking about, reaching for Jesus, right? This is why you have captive audiences that consist of nothing more than delusional morons who call themselves Christians. That's your audience now. Other delusional Christians who want to push their personal narratives and feelings and their political beliefs every day on their channel. Because the lost, most of them are intelligent enough to see how you people live, and at this point they want nothing to do with you. Make another video about how people can't handle the truth. Why am I wasting my time? People just aren't ready for the truth. Another poor me martyr video, right? You Christians love to do that. This is why your audiences have shrunk. And very few of you are actually reaching those who are, quote, lost. Because why the hell would anyone who is highly intelligent and perceptive trust anyone who cannot even keep their own word in a matter such as this? Why would they trust someone like Ken Roberts, who consistently promotes false prophets that have long since been exposed? Why would they trust someone like that, who's now trashing the same false prophets he used to promote? This is the problem with you Christians. You change your positions with the tide. You don't keep your word. You pat each other on the back and promote each other. And then you want to know why people don't want to listen to a 20-minute video when you're yet again parroting Bible verses that millions of other people have parroted. This is why, Christians. This is the example that you have set for the world. You want to see someone else they're promoting? Let me show you this dude. He's been promoted at least 3 times in just the past week that I'm aware of. Why? Because they like what he has to say. This is Scott Ritter, Mr. Expert on War, Mr. Former UN Weapons Inspector, Mr. Convicted Pedophile, who went to prison for whacking off in front of teenage girls that he was trying to hook up with. So yet again, Christians, stellar job. This is what people are sitting back watching you Christians do. Stellar performance. Yet again. But hey, as long as it fits your narrative, and as long as you like what they have to say, by God, that's all that matters. Isn't that right, Christians? You people are delusional morons, and you don't deserve an audience anymore. And for the rest of you that are actually looking for the truth, even when it offends you, even when you don't agree with it, this is the best advice I can give you. For the most part, unfortunately, you're going to have to do this on your own. And it sucks. I've said this numerous times, and it's more true now than it was a week ago. When you have people that will fall in line with anyone they like, anyone they agree with, the truth is not there the majority of the time. This is disgusting, and it's only getting worse. You're going to have to search out the truth. These people are not even telling you what's coming. They're not telling you the worst part. And I'll give you an example. I got to take a breath because I'm honestly trying not to curse. I've seriously been working on this. And oddly enough, the only time I want to curse is when I see what so-called Christians are doing, how they're deceiving others and leading them astray. They're not even telling you the worst part of this, because these people are only operating with their eyes and ears. I've posted things over the years because yet again, I knew the day would come. I want you to think about what will cause men's hearts to stop in fear. What are the things that will be revealed upon the earth that are so absolutely terrifying it will cause people to have heart attacks where they stand? I have to regain my thoughts. I've already gone through 3 different things I wanted to say. They're not telling you what's actually coming because it's not something you can see with your physical eyes. This is why I'm telling you to stop looking to others for the truth. Because if you go to that ancient book yourself, you don't have to worry about the author twisting the words to support his own political views. And more importantly, you don't have to worry about those words being contaminated according to someone's personal emotional state on that given day. Stop operating according to your emotions because your emotions are going to be taken captive soon enough. They are absolutely going to enslave most of humanity by using their emotions against them. And these people that claim to believe in God, they cannot even control their own emotions. They're railing against Bible prophecy. You need to understand this. So my screen's, I want to share this. I want you guys to see this so you'll get an understanding of what I'm saying. I posted this as a witness. I'm going to do the best I can to explain this. This has to do with capturing your emotions in a day. And when you have so-called Christians and other religious people who cannot even keep their emotions in check with the way things are now, that's why I say they're going to be the first ones to fall to deception. Get out of your emotions, and it is the most difficult thing in the world to do. I get it. And I'm going to show you why I posted this one as well. I'm going to give you an idea of why you need to get away from people who can only see with their eyes and who constantly operate according to their emotions and political beliefs. Remember, I told you this. In fact, I'll take you back to the day. I want you to understand why I posted this on election night. On November 5th, 2024, before the first votes were counted, there's a reason that I posted this. You need to memorize this and understand why I said this, because it backs up what I'm now telling you. Who foils the signs of the false prophets and makes fools of diviners, who overthrows the learning of the wise and turns it into nonsense. This is what I told you would happen before the first vote was counted. And it happened just like I said it would. You need to understand this. Any of these Christians that you see who are railing against Trump, they are actually proving how incredibly stupid and ignorant they are. Their cute little names that they make for him. They can't even go a day without talking trash about Trump. That should tell you how stupid these people are. Because what's happening is what needs to happen. You're watching the fulfillment of Bible prophecy take place. And these Christians are the ones railing against it most. How pathetic is that? The same people that quote Bible verses are the ones fighting against Bible prophecy because they cannot control their emotions or their political beliefs. That's why I tell you to stop listening to the Christians. Keep that in mind and it will serve you well over the coming months. Any of these Christians that have Trump derangement syndrome, that cannot help themselves, get away from them because they're showing you what they are. And when people show you what they are, believe them. Isn't that right, Christian watchmen? They're railing against Bible prophecy. They're opposing something that must happen. That should tell you how wise these people are. They are not. And if they are this bad, how much worse are they going to get over the coming months when things really go off the rails? I've posted things for a reason. Some of it I can't even remember. Wait until you see this one come to pass. I'm trying to find one. Right here's one. This is one of the events that's going to bring absolute terror upon the earth. The men of renown are coming out of the shadows. I think that was the first one that I posted regarding this. Give me just a second. This is another one. Wait until you see this one happen. And then there's a reason I posted this, boys and girls. And it's because they're releasing this upon the earth. I posted this about a year and a half ago because I knew the season was getting close. And I reiterated that. This one, I posted less than a year ago. All of these are puzzle pieces. Remember, I showed you this one less than a year ago. These are all puzzle pieces that I put out there, and I'll wait until they fall into place. This is why I have such a hatred for Christians that deceive people and lead them astray and leave them more confused than they were when they started their video or live stream, because I know what's actually coming. It's amazing. It's amazing what can be revealed to you when you search out the truth. And you don't always get everything you want, but many times you'll get enough to paint a picture. You need to seek out great and mighty things that you know not of. People who speak the truth are becoming less and less common with each passing day. There's a reason I despise these people so much. They speak out of both sides of their mouth, and they do all of this in the name of God, just like the ministers do in the pulpits every Sunday morning. There are good people. There's not as many as you would hope, but there are good people out there who are hurting and searching for the truth. And unfortunately, they're searching out other people to give it to them, and they're not getting it. They're getting God wrapped in personal emotions and political views and agendas. And I despise that. And like the Christian watchmen say, I will mock these people and make fun of them because I have no respect for them. Well, that book that you people like to quote has a passage that says, the same way you've treated others, it shall be given back to you. So buckle up. The same way you've treated others, it shall be dealt back to you. Quote that Bible verse. This is why you're powerless to help people. All you can do is surmise and find other people that align with your personal beliefs and your emotions and your politics and promote them. And it's disgusting because none of you are telling people what's actually coming. And it sucks to do this. It sucks getting alone and searching this out. It's so much easier when you have people that can help you along the way, and unfortunately, those people are few and far between now. It sucks when you listen to something and then you do research and realize that person is a liar because it sounds so sweet. It sounds so poetic. It sounds beautiful when they read their Bible verses. And yet, look at their fruits, and you will find lie after lie after lie. And they don't even care anymore. They laugh about how many times they have cried wolf in the name of God. They don't even care anymore. They don't care how many times they've made God look like an incompetent liar and a fool, or a sadistic bastard. Tell us again about the wrath and judgment of God, Christians. We haven't heard that a million times. Tell us again. We haven't heard it for what, 24 hours? That's the best you people can do at this point. While you're busy promoting each other and patting each other on the back, right? Please get alone and seek out the truth for yourself, because unfortunately, there are very few people that can help you do it now. These people are so smooth, it's terrifying. When they say something that actually encourages you, but yet they weave deception into it, and it's ever so slight. When I say this is getting finite, that's why I mean that. They'll give you 99% truth, and then they'll sow in a seed of deception, and it contaminates the entire thing. That's what I mean when I say this has gotten finite. When you have to listen with your eyes and ears closed. I could never understand why I could hear more, why I could understand more deeply with my eyes closed. I would sit in a church sometimes back in the day and I would close my eyes and people would think I was sleeping. I was never big on church, but I found a couple I enjoyed. My lieutenant actually started a church and he was a good man, so I went there because I knew he was a good man. This was years after he was my lieutenant, and we just happened to run into each other one day, and he was a good man. And I said, I'm not sleeping, just so you know. I'm actually listening. And I learned if I closed my eyes, I could take in much more because I wasn't distracted. I wasn't looking at someone, wondering where they live, what they do for a living. Oh, look, she's wearing a red dress. That dude's wearing a black suit. I learned to close my eyes because it would instantly cut down on the distractions. You're going to have to put yourself in solitude sometimes to cut out all the distractions, all the white noise in the voices. Stop listening to Christians and people that claim to be religious, because the vast majority of them, I promise you, are liars. They've been preparing for this for decades. Knock someone off their horse and watch how fast they hate you. Knock a Christian hero off of their horse and watch how quickly you become hated, especially when you do it by simply using their own words against them. The easiest way to prove someone's deception is to use their own words from the past against them, especially when they leave it out there for the world to see. At least they used to delete some videos. Now these people don't even delete them. They don't even care anymore. I found another one that's being promoted the other night. I'm like, oh, there's got to be something wrong with her if he's promoting her. Sure enough, talking about a soon coming blackout. Prepare now, get your generators. Yeah. How did I know there was something wrong with her? Because I know the so-called Christian watchman. And 90% of the people that he promotes are lying false prophets. Pattern recognition is a very powerful thing now, in case you haven't figured it out. I heard someone say this and I laughed because it was absolutely true. He said, "I'm not racist against blacks. I'm just an expert at pattern recognition." And I laughed my ass off because I understood exactly what he meant by that. Pattern recognition is a very powerful thing. I suggest you learn to employ that against religious people who want to give you advice on how to live. There are a few good ones left. It's a very small percentage, but you need to ask for guidance. They are capturing people so quickly now. And if you don't believe that, go to your favorite false prophet YouTube page and just read the comments. Amen. Praise God. Thank you. This is confirmation. Amen, brother. I needed to hear this by the hundreds of thousands. These are Christians cheering these people on that have lied again and again and again. That's the best advice I can give you, boys and girls. I can tell you this. You need to make sure there are no chinks in your armor. You need to make sure that you don't have any open doors. Because these demonic forces are looking for any crack. They are looking for any crack. You can no longer sit on the fence. You can't play around with certain things that you know you shouldn't have in your life. Because these things have been released upon the earth. And they are looking for people to devour. And when you have sin in your life, that's all they need. And they don't need much of it. This is finite. They can tell by a glance what's in your heart. They can listen to one sentence come out of your mouth and they know what's in your heart. They know your deepest, darkest secrets. They have been doing this for thousands of years. They have mastered the game. You're behind the curve to start with. You cannot do this on your own wisdom. You cannot use your thoughts, your opinions to do this. You're facing an enemy that knows you better than you know yourself. They can tell by a glance what's in your heart. That's how finite this has become. Stop paying attention to things in the physical that don't matter. You need to close your eyes and seek wisdom and guidance on what's actually coming and what you need to do to prepare for it. Doesn't matter how tough you are. It doesn't matter how intelligent you are. It won't be enough. It won't be enough. You cannot do this according to your own wisdom. And don't let anyone contaminate you with their personal emotions and their political agendas. Most of all, the quote Christians on YouTube. Analyze everything they're saying or don't listen to them at all. And at the first red flag, flee and flee quickly, lest they pull you into their deception with them. That's the best advice I can give you this night, because I know what's coming. And when I close my eyes, I feel that pit in my stomach. It's that hopelessness and fear that wants to creep in. You might want to search after the only one that can sustain you. because all of your YouTube Christians and watchmen and prophets are not going to be there when this breaks out. They'll flee into the shadows, or that they will pull you in with them into the deception. Get alone. Get the white noise out. Seek truth and power while it can still be found. Every voice that you listen to now is a distraction if it's not the right voice. Every voice that you listen to now makes you weaker if it's not the right voice. They have used media with stunning success to do this. I can't listen to certain songs that I used to because I know what it does to me now. Be acutely aware of everything you listen. Be acutely aware of everything you listen to and what you take in with your eyes. That's how finite this has become. Get ready, because when it happens, there will be no more time to get ready. That's the best advice I can give you on March 14th in the year of our Lord 2026. Until next time.